You heard it here first, folks. There's a new Matrix movie coming
out. The fourth Matrix.
Yeah, and what's it called? What's it?
Matrix 4.
Yeah,
it's gonna do well because
the many saints of Matrix.
The Matrix 4, the Wiccaverse. It's gonna do well because we watched the trailer 4 minutes ago.
Yeah,
and forgot the title of it. So, Warner Brothers,
yeah,
you're in for a treat.
I mean, when you show up at the theater, you just say, a ticket for the Matrix. And they're not gonna like accidentally send you to like Matrix Part 1. They know. They know.
The Keanu's back,
right?
Looking great.
Yeah, it was kind of like a reminder of like how much he's changed, because it's like, we've sort of seen him in all these sort of different, like you said, John Wick, and then it's only when he's playing Neo again where it's like, oh wow, he looks pretty different from how he looked last time.
Definitely, and like he should have went short hair and shaved his beard, because he has this John Wick look, and he's not, even though he shaved it for the new Bill and Ted. He's kept this like long hair and beard throughout like whatever he's been making over the last like 6 years. Go short hair and sans beard, Keanu.
Well, I mean, like I was really excited, like seeing this trailer. Like I'd heard about it, and I just never like got around to checking it out. Like I kept meaning to like, oh yeah, everybody's talking about this Matrix trailer. Let me check it out. And then I was at the theater to see The Many Saints of Newark. And then it was one of the trailers. And so it was kind of like perfect that like, I'm seeing it as a trailer in the theater with the full. And so you got the, one pill makes you, in, full stereo. And then when
it's song.
Yeah. And then they do like a remix where like as it goes on, it starts to get kind of like orchestral, electronic, and all this cool stuff happens with it that was just like kind of
one pill, na, na, na. I love that song.
Like when I was a kid, I was so into that song, and probably because it's like when you're a kid, like there's a rock song about Alice in Wonderland, so it's like they're kind of speaking your language a little bit, and so I like just the lyrics and stuff. It's like, oh wow, they're singing about Alice in Wonderland, and then but like as a kid, like that song was like so played out. I got like sick of it. So there's like other Jefferson Airplane songs I like better, like Long John Silver ring in his ear, that, and then My Plastic Fantastic Lover, because which I listened to a lot when I was working on Fantastic Four Grand Design, because just like when I work on projects, I try to listen to songs that kind of like fit
the vibe,
and so like I'm working on Fantastic Four with Mr. Fantastic, who has like the powers of Plastic Man. So My Plastic Fantastic Lover, that was kind of like a good fit.
I love when you get these sick trailer songs where they're like remixes of old songs too. Like there was some.
There's the cliche of like a children's choir. So there was like the Princess Diana movie trailer, and that had that too. You can't always get what you want. That kind of.
I'm like, wow, that's like.
I realized like it really was like the Rolling Stones are going to be when we're taping. The Rolling Stones are going to be in Pittsburgh tomorrow, but so I got like Rolling Stones on the brain, but I realized that whole trend of like having like a children's choir sing a rock song that we see in all these trailers started by the Rolling Stones, like with "You Can't Always Get What You Want," like back in like the '60s or like 1970 or whatever year it was.
Mick Jagger, right now I can feel his power. He's sashaying somewhere, like
right. He's got Pittsburgh on the brain.
Pittsburgh on the brain.
And we're feeling the energy.
I should wear my lips shirt. When the Matrix came out, it was like about the pinnacle of cool. Like, I remember nothing could have been cooler than when the Matrix came out.
When I saw the Matrix, it was like, okay, this movie's okay, but pretty soon that new Star Wars prequel's coming out, and then, the main event is coming up, and like I remember like after the Matrix came out. Everybody had a new wardrobe. Everybody was walking around in like black leather dusters. I'm wearing like little tiny, sunglasses.
And like even the second and third one, didn't they get some bad? It felt like they got like shit on or something. I liked them.
Yeah.
Is there any kind of like?
I don't know. Like when
why does that happen all the time?
when the second one came out, it's like I kind of had a feeling about it, you know, and like just like everybody was like nobody was saying, like I went to see the Animatrix. I saw that in the theater, and I thought that was pretty cool.
I still haven't seen the Animatrix.
Yeah, it was pretty cool. And then the second one, I just didn't get around to seeing. And like I almost saw it, and it was like I had to choose between seeing that or like the Ang Lee Hulk, and I went with the Ang Lee Hulk, which I think was the right decision. So I saw that, and you know, because you know, back then, I guess I didn't go to the movies as much as I do, or anyway. So I went with that. So I never saw part 2 until it came out on DVD, and then I watched it and was like, you know, pretty underwhelmed with it. So I never even bothered to see the third one. I think I was like maybe like at a hotel at some point, you know, working out in the exercise room, and they had part 3 playing a little, and I'm like, yeah, okay, I don't need to see that either. You know?
Might have to. I'm gonna revisit them all. I think before the 4th one.
But this one has me stoked to see it, and it is like I think like Lana Wachowski was saying, like during like, you know, COVID and lockdown and all that kind of stuff, like she just was like, you know, like everybody kind of like under a lot of stress and whatever, and then like just as like a way of dealing, this story just kind of came to her, and she just kind of, you know, went with it and kept, you know, and it does seem. It seems like kind of a good, like just, it seems like a good take, like a good angle on the Matrix, a good way to get us back into it. That, you know.
I'm glad we're going back to those characters and like hanging out with them again. Like Carrie-Anne Moss is in the trailer. I was like, all right.
Yeah, it's kind of poignant because you kind of see how everybody's changed. Like seeing Keanu Reeves and Carrie-Anne Moss, like seeing them. And just how much, I mean, they're older now. You know, it's been like, what, 20 years or something?
She's like, do I know? She's like, oh my God, John Wick!
The Matrix, don't kill me! The Matrix doesn't seem that long ago.
No.
And it's like, no, it's 20 years. So like a lot of time's passed, and you see it on their faces. You know?
99, right?
Yeah, and so that's like...
Jeez, oh man.
So 22 years ago. So, I mean, so that aspect of it is poignant. And yeah, it is like, you know, just think about the stuff. Like, I feel like I have like 2 sets of nostalgia. It's like I have nostalgia for my childhood, which feels like it's 20 years ago, but it's more. And then I have nostalgia for stuff that actually is 20 years ago, like, you know, like The Matrix, you know.
But like everything just seems like it was like so like recent, like
yeah, because we really are in The Matrix, and that's why, you know, that's why everything, time feels so weird and
I'm gonna
unreal.
take this blue pill.
Yeah, and that was kind of cool, like, you know. Just like this idea of like, yeah, I was in the Matrix, and you know, but I guess it was just a dream. Like, you know, like, so it's like, okay, how did he get here? You know, why? You know, how's he get back to the Matrix? What, you know, what? And
the guy gives him the blue pill. He's like, here, take this blue pill, and then he's like,
it's
whoops, it's Viagra.
Yeah,
and he's like,
yeah, he starts like. It's like the scene where they like start shooting up the building.
He's got a giant erection.
Yeah,
it's like it shows him running around the hallway with a massive erection,
just like blowing up the walls. Like,
it's like Dick explodes a pillar as he does. It's like slow motion.
No, that's brilliant. Of course that's going to happen. Of course that's part of it. And he's like, you know, so it's kind of cool. And like the first Matrix, it was kind of about kind of like the alienation of like a young adult. Like, you know, you got your like sort of entry level job. You're not loving it. And then now it's like a midlife crisis movie. You know, it's like, you know, okay, you had all this like great stuff in your past, and it's like now you just want to relive it or figure out a way to like, you know, have some like new adventure when it feels like you're kind of done with adventures. And
he's like, I had my greatest success in the Matrix. I got to get back there. Yeah. That's what he's
pretty much. Yeah. So there are like, you know, just these like real world parallels, and it is again a smart way to do it, because it's like our world is so much more like the world of the Matrix than it was back when the Matrix was made. So like you have the scenes of like everybody staring at their phones and him like kind of looking up at like, you know, the ubiquitous cameras that are everywhere, and he's like with facial recognition.
Oh shit!
And, yeah,
facial. We're getting recognized. He's like, what if I told you you would have a 5-hour erection?
Yeah, and it was kind of cool with the blue pills, because like in it, it's like he's got like just hands full, like bottles of blue pills and like hands full, and then like they're like filling this, like his sink is like full of blue pills. So it is kind of, so then you know when that red pill is coming, it's going to be like
something special.
Yeah, it's going to blow your mind. And yeah, just like the action looked super cool.
Oh yeah.
And of course they have the template of these, like, the J.J. Abrams Star Wars movies where it's like, oh yeah, you have the old guys and then you got the new crew that kind of like, that are kind of like a remix of the old crew but kind of feel fresh.
Someone looks cool. They have blue hair. They're like fighting. He was doing battle with the guy who had the Morpheus shades on. Mm-hmm. And NPH, Neil Patrick Harris.
Yeah, Neil Patrick Harris, which I think, like, when he realizes, okay, he's still in the Matrix, it's gonna be like, oh yeah, my psychiatrist is Doogie Howser, and like,
dude, when I was in high school, my friend Andrew and I, we had this thing in class called Music Lab, and it was just a class, like, nothing was accomplished. We just sat around these keyboards, mm-hmm. and I don't think the teacher like taught us anything, but like every day we had a running thing where like. Every day in the class we would play the Doogie Howser theme song on the
sounds
keyboard.
Great on an electronic keyboard.
So like however long that class was, there was that many attempts at the Doogie Howser. It was like
with like the Matrix. There's like nothing stopping you from going super meta, where like he could be like, I look like the guy from John Wick. I look like Bill and Ted. I look, like I'm the guy from Point Break. Like all this,
God,
and then you could also have Doogie.
He's like, you're Johnny Utah.
Like there was that movie Vanilla Sky with
oh shit, Tom Cruise.
Tom Cruise, and it's like he realizes everything's like a simulation or whatever, and it's like, oh yeah, my psychiatrist I modeled after the guy from To Kill a Mockingbird, and this and that. So you could kind of have something like that in the Matrix.
NPH he's like, weren't you on How I Met Your Mother? He's like,
that's another thing. Like How I Met Your Mother feels to me like a semi-recent show, but I think that's like 20 years ago.
Dude, I
like
they could do another. Still on the air.
Yeah, they could do another How I Met Your Mother about the kids telling their kids about how they met their or like How I Met Your Grandmother, like that.
I'm pretty excited about it. It snuck up on me. You tipped me off to the trailer. I'm glad it was before Many Saints in Newark, and I'm looking forward to it. Christmas time.
Yeah.
Matrix 4.
So much cool. Like, I'm so glad stuff's like really rolling out, and I think it is. They're just kind of at a point where it's like, okay, we just got to like cut our losses and get this stuff out of there because it's just like clogging up the pipeline. So we had Many Saints in Newark. We got the James Bond coming. We got Halloween Kills coming.
Halloween Kills.
It's gonna be like just an embarrassment of riches, and then there's probably going to be a cool movie or two to see every weekend until the Matrix. So this is I'm looking forward to
Eternals.
An
embarrassment of riches.
Embarrassment of riches.
Warm in my heart.
Yeah.
And
that'll be the title of this video. The new Matrix trailer. An embarrassment of riches.
I gotta.
James Bond, The Matrix, Eternals, Halloween Kills, an embarrassment of riches.
Like in the Matrix 2 or 3, there was something where it was like the focal point of some derision. It was like there was like they're like, was that an orgy that happened or something?
Well, yeah, like,
and they're like, what was going on?
Okay, the Matrix movies, like the sequels. Okay, I love the first one, and then the sequels. It's like, they're talking about how it's like you have the real world where everything sucks, and then you have the Matrix where everything's cool, and like food, it looks like snot, looks like a plate of snot. You're living on this gray little ship that everything smells like gasoline and oil, and so it's like, okay, this is what the real world's like, and it sucks, and the Matrix is amazing, but it's an illusion. It's not real. This is real. That's not. And then it's like Matrix 2 starts out, and it's like, oh, we forgot to tell you that there's this like sensuous world full of colors and delicious food and raves and music and dancing that's not part of the Matrix. Like, we didn't tell you about that, but now we're going to tell, so that felt kind of weird. And then like it was like super boring, and like Neo, like the first Matrix movie, it's a kung fu movie. Like a portion, like a big piece of it is like a kung fu movie. There's these, and like, the coolest kung fu movie I've ever seen, like amazing fights and stuff. And then it's like it ends with Neo flying away. So now it's like part 2 is a Superman movie. Now, like, a Superman movie, it's not as much fun seeing a guy flying, perfectly stiff, especially the way he flew. He didn't like tilt or bank or anything. He just like be perfectly stiff flying through the air. Like that's not as much. Seeing a guy fly from place to place and then just obliterate everybody he meets isn't as much fun as like a guy doing like this amazing kung fu. And then part 3, I didn't really. Oh, and also the second one, it ends. We'll have to do a Matrix episode, but the second one ends, and it's like. It scrolls down, and you see this guy lying down on a table, and it scrolls down, and you see his face, and it's like ba-dum, ba-dum, but and it goes into the credits, and you're supposed to be like, oh my god, I can't believe it's that guy. But I was like, I don't know who that is. Obviously, it's supposed to be important. Like his face is upside down, also, and like it's harder. Like the human brain has a harder time recognizing a face when it's upside. So I still don't know who it is. Maybe it's Hugo Weaving or something. But like you were supposed to be blown away by this, and I'm like, I'm not blown away. Like. Why do I need to see the third movie if like the big stinger at the end that's supposed to like make my head explode? I don't even know what I'm looking at.
I couldn't tell you what happened in the third one, so I can't wait for it. It's gonna be like the first time watching it.
Yeah, and then there was like a guy. There was that scene where he meets like the architect.
Oh yeah. Was that in the second?
That's in the second one, and he meets this guy, and they're talking. Like I don't know what they're talking really fast. It sounds like some important stuff's being said, but I don't know what any of it is because they're talking fast, talking low, and oh man,
I can't wait to do a Matrix episode. I gotta wear my duster and one of my favorite
your little sunglasses that go. Is Lawrence Fishburne still alive?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. I don't know why we didn't see him in that trailer.
Yeah, maybe they're saving him for some kind of surprise.
Oh, that'd be great.
I mean, he's he would have the Harrison, like he would have the Han Solo role where like he gets killed like at
he's
the
like
two-thirds.
Neo, we're home.
Yeah, Neo, we're home. We're home.
I'm like watching. I'm like Tom. Did Lawrence Fishburne always have that single gold study earring in his ear? Like I don't remember him having that.
Neo, we're home. Did the spoon bend, or did you bend?
Oh fuck!
Yeah, you know how like in like the new Star Wars, like everybody looks different except Chewbacca. Chewbacca looks exactly the same way he did in 1977. There's going to be like a character in the new Matrix who's like completely unchanged.
Hopefully it's Joe Pantoliano.
Yeah, a CGI Joe Pantoliano. You've been watching the Total Recall show, our recap of the Matrix trailer. I'm Tom Scioli, author of Jack Kirby, The Epic Life of the King of Comics, and Fantastic Four Grand Design.
I'm Matt Zeoli.
And you can follow me on Twitter at Tom Scioli. Check out my Patreon. Go to patreon.com. Search Tom Scioli and go to Instagram and check out at Tom_Scioli on Instagram.
You can follow me on Instagram at cinema_tomb.
Okay, we'll see you at the movies. We need our thing that's not we'll see you at the movies because that's at the movies. You'll totally recall seeing us at the movie.